In the year 2275, humanity had transcended the confines of Earth, spreading across the stars, inhabiting moons, planets, and vast orbital habitats. Contrary to the utopian dreams of early space pioneers, this expansion wasn't marked by a uniform spread of freedom. Various factions and governments had taken their terrestrial philosophies into space, resulting in a mosaic of competing systems, from authoritarian regimes to vibrant anarchic societies. Amongst these was Arcadia, a vast orbital colony at the edge of the Sol system, governed by principles of radical libertarianism. It was a place where government was minimal. Instead, the community was regulated by a complex system of contracts and mutual agreements, upheld by private arbitration courts. Market forces flowed as freely as oxygen, driving innovation and personal liberty to unprecedented heights. Lila Miles, a talented engineer born on the strictly controlled Venusian habitats, had emigrated to Arcadia seeking the freedoms she had longed for. Here, she thrived, developing a reputation for pioneering work in sustainable life support systems. Personal autonomy was held in high regard, and Lila embraced the creative and economic freedoms that Arcadia offered. However, not all was perfect. Lila's innovations, while celebrated, also caught the attention of Regis Corp, a powerful business conglomerate with a near monopoly on life support systems in neighboring sectors. Accustomed to operating in environments where corporate power was often unchecked by weak governmental structures, Regis Corp saw Lila's work as a direct threat to their market dominance. One evening, as Arcadia's artificial sun dipped below the habitat's horizon, Lila received a cryptic message: "Cease all research and development activities. Non-compliance will have consequences." Unnerved but undeterred, Lila reached out to her network, discovering that she wasn't alone in receiving such threats. Smaller entities across Arcadia were being systematically bullied into submission or silence by larger conglomerates. Rather than bow to intimidation, Lila and her peers convened. What followed was a pioneering application of Arcadian principles. They pooled their resources, establishing a collective defense fund and hiring some of the best legal minds and security firms within the habitat. The community's response was a testament to their way of life. When faced with external pressures, they would band together, preserving each individual's liberty and pursuit of innovation. The battle was not merely in courtrooms or boardrooms. In Arcadia, public opinion and market forces could be just as decisive. Lila spearheaded a campaign to educate the populace about the predatory practices threatening their economic landscape. This initiative struck a chord, rallying support across various sectors. People chose to back smaller firms, turning away from monopolistic entities where possible, which began to tip the balance of power. Regis Corp, finding themselves increasingly isolated, attempted to negotiate. But the damage had been done. They had underestimated the cohesive resolve of a truly free market empowered by informed and principled individuals. In the climax, a landmark ruling from an arbitration court, heavily influenced by public and economic pressures, set new precedents on competitive practices and corporate behavior in Arcadia. It was a decisive victory for Lila and small enterprises throughout the colony. Triumphant yet humbled by her ordeal, Lila reflected on her journey. Arcadia wasn't perfect. Nowhere was. But it stood as a beacon of how liberty could flourish when communities fostered an environment where mutual respect, personal freedom, and economic forces aligned. The balance was delicate, but in Arcadia, the stars seemed just a little brighter for those who dared to reach for them.